Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we got two disturbances to watch in the northwestern Caribbean, and could one of these potentially affect the United States? We'll be talking about that and was going to get right into that. So this is specifically talked about the other day here, disturbance number one, which now has a 70% chance of developing in the next 5 days, but there is still some uncertainties with this system here. We'll be talking about that. Then we got the disturbance number two here, which got a low end 20% chance in the next 5 days. Although, stuff that's kind of odd to me about this disturbance here is the models are not really quite showing this up here on the model. So, this may stay in a pretty low end chance here over the next several days. So, but we'll keep an eye on that system. But the main focus is going to be this one here, which also has a 40% chance of developing in the next 48 hours. So let's talk about that system. So this is the GFS model here with the system. And you can see here it actually starts to pop up very quickly right over here. So it's quite a different spot where it develops here. And as we kind of continue on, it stays stationary kind of over the same area for about a day or two. Eventually moves to the southwest. And then it starts to rapidly intensify in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico and stay stationary for a little bit before it makes landfall there into Mexico. So that's one solution there that could potentially happen with this system here, which I believe this is the strongest solution from the GFS here on the system here, but we'll see about that. It's showing it as low as 964 millibars, so that's likely a hurricane at that point. Let's take a look at the Canadian model. It actually has a different view on this system. It's going to take a moment to pop up somewhere. Here it is right here. Actually, that's actually a little mistake. It actually does not pop up at all. The Canadian mouse is a little bit odd on this run here, but what it does show is on disturbance number two. You can see it pops up right here. This is October the 8th. It actually moves it to the Gulf of Mexico and then eventually making landfall into Florida. Kind of seemed like Sally a little bit close spot to landfall there. Now, I will take that as a grain of salt at this time here because it's not even popping up the first disturbance at all, and it's got a high end chance of developing. So, the Canadian model, we're not going to follow this model here for now. So, again, we'll likely take that as a grain of salt. Let's move on to the icon model here, and it's going to take a moment for next system to pop up here. It actually doesn't really pop up anything. Actually, here it is right here. That's disturbance number one. I believe this is disturbance number two right here. You see, disturbance one doesn't uh, form to anything. Here comes disturbance two right here, which actually develops into something right there. So disturbance two we actually may need to watch for, then disturbance one. But again, there are some very high uncertainties with both of these systems here because we're getting different solutions here, which is going to be an issue with the forecast on these two systems if we're going to have a big disagreement here. But the Canadian and the ICON models do have some agreement on this. But again, this can likely change. All right, let's lastly move into the European model. And let's move on to Friday into early Saturday morning. You can see your system develops right here with disturbance number one. Kind of similar to like the GFS develops there. And it kind of stays over Mexico there and kind of stays along the coast there. Here comes disturbance number two right there. And you can see here, it doesn't really develop too much of anything. It's actually right here, but it's just a very broad low pressure system. So really, again, there's still some very high uncertainties with both of these systems, but for right now, it seems like the Canadian model and the Icon model have an agreement, but the GFS and European models, which is the top two models, best models out there, showing completely different solutions. So we're gonna see if any of these models could get into agreement in the over the next couple of days, but we'll be keeping an eye on those two systems very closely there. Alright, so that's those two systems. Lastly, we're actually going to go into the Eastern Pacific. We actually got Hurricane Marie, which is right now a Category 2 hurricane with 110-mile-an-hour winds with pressure of 970 millibars in the Eastern Pacific. If we click on this here, this is the current forecast. It's actually going to be becoming a major hurricane, but good news is it's not going to make threat to landfall anytime soon. You can see here by satellite imagery here, or infrared satellite imagery. You can see here it's becoming pretty well organized there. You can see with the forecast for the intensity, anywhere from a strong Category 2 to a low-end Category 4 hurricane. But again, for people that live in Hawaii, may need to watch this system here a little bit closely because the models can shift on its tracks here. You can see by the GFS ensembles here, it really starts to spread out here with the model guidance here. You can see here, even a couple members start to go towards Hawaii. So anybody in Hawaii may need to watch this system here very closely here. But we'll have a better idea on it as we kind of get closer to it. But anyways, if it does turn towards Hawaii, you can see here if we go back to the intensity guidance, it should likely die down into a tropical depression there as well. Ignore those four models, it's just outliers. But you can see there's a better agreement this will likely die down back into a tropical depression very soon. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer your guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.